Hi, my name is Mbongeni Bebe. So today I just thought maybe let me do quick snapshot of the small business series presentation. So basically here I'm going to take you through prepare and complete a tender document, whether it's a quotation or whether you're giving out a single rate or whether you're selling any small unit item. It's very important to realize that any selling price that you give out as a small business, or let me say unit rate, because in construction we use BOQs and then there's a unit rate for each item in the BOQ. Any single item, if you do not make profit on that single item, then in the whole BOQ you will not make profit as a business person. That is essentially what you need to understand in the whole of this video. So now I wanted to take you through everything and then explain to you why I've put the cover page with hands all together. The coronavirus has shown us that no one can work in isolation. You cannot work without relationships. For instance, you cannot work without your supplier, you cannot work without your employees, you cannot work without your subcontractor, you cannot work without your service provider. If ever you set up any business, you cannot work out without your creditors or your debtors. That is exactly what those hands symbolize. We have to work together all the time. Right. I myself with this YouTube channel, I cannot present this stuff if I don't have any audience. So all of my audience, if you never want to miss a video, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the red button, subscribe, so that you get all my videos. Also click on the bell that you see over there, as well as click on share, so that anytime I upload any video you will be in the loop. Okay, so I want to explain to you how this all works. Now, this is your business. This is like blood. This is like blood. If you take out blood from a human being dies. So if you don't do this, your business will fail. These are simple basic principles of how you price, how you intend to charge your client. Whether you're in a barber shop, you're cutting someone's hair and you're charging 20 Rand. This is how you need to work out your costs. Okay, so now this is how the various costs fit together. So what you have is your income, which is your selling rate, which I'll basically take you through step by step. I'll take you through your income, I'll take you through your costs, your unit cost, price per item, even if you're selling clothes, and then your markup, profit or risk, that is calculated as a percentage from the direct cost. So everyone would ask themselves, how do I actually price my tender, or how do I fill in my RFQ now that I've gone to the City Parks website and then I've picked up a request for quotation? How do I do it if I've got no general knowledge? I'd like to say something extremely important, okay, because I am also a professional. I'm a civil engineer, and please, all the businesses owners, or everyone who owns a business, right, this YouTube video is not a substitute of employing a professional quantity surveyor. Nowadays we've got a professional construction manager that is registered with the SACPMP, or a professional civil engineer who is also registered with the Engineering Council of South Africa. This is not a substitute. You can never learn this overnight. I had to spend more than a decade just trying to understand this information. But it just gives you a general view on how you can basically operate your business. So now I was talking about how do I price my tender. Okay, so keep in mind that you always need to make a profit, but now you are competing with other tenderers, right? So if you're competing with other people, how exactly are you going to know that this guy is the lowest? Well, obviously when it comes to competitive and experienced tender advisors, normally they suggest that a cost plus 7.5% tender price, or a 7.5%. There's normally a market related markup. That's basically what I'm saying, because your costs basically do not change whether you're buying material or anything. So most contractors, what they do, they become very unfair on the laborers in terms of the salaries and wages, and then they pay them less than what they owe the laborers. This won't be sustainable for your business. You might win once or twice, but it's not sustainable. But anyways, this is the reason why I am doing this video, so that you apply your mind and then you make your own decisions in that regard. So now your cost, you basically cannot in quotes sell anything if you do not know how much it will cost you. So the basics of business is, right, if you're doing any business, even if in the service industry, it costs money, right, for anyone to give you a service. Well, some people like myself, giving this service out, and how do I benefit? My vision has always been to reduce poverty and unemployment in the whole of Africa. You can imagine 35% of people are unemployed in South Africa. Do the math. We have got 50 something billion people, you know. Sorry, not 50 billion, 56 million people in South Africa, actually. 56 million people in South Africa. Okay. How many youth do we have? Because remember, even if we've got 56 million people in South Africa, our life expectancy is more or less in the 45 years and so on. And part of the reason why I'm even presenting this video, because I'm 34 years old, and in a decade I would be 45. So life expectancy will take me 6 feet under. Anyways, now where was I? In terms of the cost, the total cost is, if you're doing construction, the total cost is mainly your direct cost, like your materials. You need materials to build something, your bricks, your cabs, your paving, your cement, your sand. You need to know how much that will cost you, right? This video is actually for everyone, because even if you're doing a budget for a renovation that you want to do by your house, you need to find out the cost of your material. You need to find out the cost of the plant or the equipment that you're going to use. You need to find out the cost for your labor. You need to find out how much fuel it will cost you. You need to also find out how much it will cost you to transport whatever you want to bring to site. Because when you get to a construction site, nothing is there. How are you going to bring everything all together? It costs money. The time for everyone who will be on your site, it will cost money. Your employees are gonna cost you money. So all these costs, put them all together, So I extremely respect all the contractors out there, because government is not giving enough work for all the contractors that are out there. I mean, it's a fact. As you can see, the construction industry is like almost dead, even if I'm doing those videos. But surprisingly, you know, I just love the statistics that are out there. Did you know that the construction industry in 2016-2017 year contributed to 12% of the gross domestic product, just the construction industry? So I don't know why the government doesn't really value the construction industry, because I think after this coronavirus, it is the only sustainable way to create jobs, to create employment and reduce poverty. It's the only way that I see it. So as I was saying, I'm talking about profit now. The contractor has to add profit to like repay his or her capital, expand his or her business. Say you're coming from CIDB grade 1 and you're going to CIDB grade 9. The only way you can do that is if you make a gross profit. Gross profit is all that makes a business grow. Gross profit is all that a business needs to grow. Because when you do your application at the CIDB to upgrade, you need to have some capital in your account so that they can move you either from a grade 3 to a grade 4 or grade 5 to a grade 7. So our contractor also needs profit to pay dividends to any of the investors. If you're listed in the JSE and you're a big construction firm, you obviously have a lot of shareholders that are there. You're a public enterprise and you need to pay some dividends for that. Profit is the only way for your business to grow, because you need to reinvest continuously into your business. Most of our black companies, B, triple B, double E, have in the past or even now, there are a lot of companies under CIDB grade 1, which is not sustainable. We would like most of the companies to grow to CIDB 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9. So business growth is if you make profit. Profit is not for you to buy luxury cars, you buy your nice BMW, you buy your nice Mercedes, Brabus, all those big companies that cost you like 9 million rand or a couple of thousands and thousands of euros. You know, you're only taking that money and you are sending it overseas for the people who actually manufacture those beautiful cars. Anyways, profit makes you replace your plant. If you've got your assets in your business are like your excavators, your graders and all that. So your profit is the one that makes you sustain your business. Do not take your profit as your salary. Earn your salary according to the amount of value that you contribute to your business. So I extremely respect anyone who's in the construction business, because construction can be a very risky business, you know. This is evident by the fact that the industry has the highest bankruptcy rate as compared to other industries. Because if you have a look at most of the companies that have gone into business rescue, construction business rescue, and most of the companies that have fallen, you know, it is very, very easy for you to set yourself up as a business contractor. But when you get to grade 7, 8, 9, you know, things just happen so fast, and then you just fall like a heap of dry leaves, And one of the major reasons why this actually happens is that you do not fully understand the cost of the work that you do. However, most contracts expect the contractor to carry most of those risks, right? So, but the risk can be managed, and it requires the contractor to think about the project in advance. I'm talking about planning now. I'm gonna put a lot of videos about planning, because if you do not plan for profit, you will never make a profit. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So, right, think about a project in advance, and then you make due allowance. This is up to you. I cannot decide how much risk you have, whether you went to either a loan shark, or you went to a bank to get a loan, or any other form of capital generation that you have. Maybe you asked your brother to help you out or anything. So a risk needs to be managed, and for you to make it in this industry, you need to be able to manage your risk by employing the right people. Employing the right people like myself, PR registered construction project manager, PR registered civil engineer, PR registered construction manager, and most importantly, a PR registered occupational health and safety agent for your site. Because if someone gets injured on your site, it will cost you a hell lot of money than just employing a PR registered OHS agent, registered obviously with the SACPMP. So yeah, preliminary and general pay items. Oh, this one is an extremely difficult item, especially for maybe say you've got no background in construction, and then you're wondering what exactly is what we call preliminary and general, or P's and G's. P's and G's is a short term that you always hear on a construction site. People talking about it, and then you tend to wonder, how can someone actually estimate their preliminary and general items? So those preliminary and general items, what are they? Preliminary and general items are those that are not directly related to work, items in a bill of quantities, and they may either be like a fixed, like establishment cost, whether you are taking containers and you're putting them on site, or a lowbed comes and drops off a certain plant. Those are like your preliminary and general costs, which normally range like 8 to 12% of the contract. Some BOQs do specify that you cannot exceed like 50% of the total contract value, obviously excluding VAT, because VAT is for sales, So yeah, so preliminary and general costs, can be explained as like all the on-site costs that cannot be directly included in a rate. For example, you would not include your secretary's or site clerk's salary in a brickwork rate. Okay. So when you are supplied with a bill of quantities or schedule of quantities, even if you're a small SMME with one line item, if you need to ask your main contractor that what is it they are going to pay for, because you might have some costs for your baki, all those things come up as preliminary and general, because you cannot charge them in your rate, your airtime, the one that you use to phone, and so it makes it like a lot easier for you to remember those costs to take into account, because obviously you will be required to calculate a cost to provide each of the required P's and G's items. When I was a site agent, an SMME would come and ask me like a question like, okay, how are you going to pay for this item? And I was like, you do not quote for it, in as much as we want to eradicate poverty and unemployment, we obviously need to work within the restrictions of the industry. You cannot demand to be paid for nothing. So for all the SMMEs, or this very small SMMEs, please ask management of the main contractor, how are you getting paid if you do not understand how you are getting paid? Because that normally causes, industrial unrest and all those things, and then it disturbs a project, and then that really stops everything. It affects our fiscus, no one gets paid, unemployment becomes worse, poverty becomes worse. So each one of us has got a huge impact on this. So make sure you do your best to make sure that a project goes smooth. So P's and G's, I'm just going to give you a quick list, because obviously I cannot compress everything in one video, and you obviously cannot learn all this overnight. So I'll obviously post out or upload 2 or 3 videos, because I'm also busy with other things. 2 or 3 videos per week. You will get a lot of valuable information only if you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the red button, so that you do not miss any single video. So P's and G's, you've got supervision, your site agent or your supervisor, foreman, blah blah blah, the guys that you pay. If you are an entrepreneur, employ the right people to do the job. Don't try and do it yourself. Okay, setting out. Well, you can do it yourself, but if you want guaranteed profits and guaranteed income, it's wise to employ the right professionally registered people. If you want to really get a job, employ a quantity surveyor to do the pricing for you. But I'm just giving you this in a nutshell so that you understand what comes out of a BOQ, or how do you prepare your quotation. Site camp facilities, water and electricity supply, telephone, safety, security, site clearance, hard stands, insurance, and all other consumables, So I'll take you all through all these P's and G's, because really it's quite a lot, and in as much as I want to compress you with a lot of information, but my videos don't permit me to do that. So don't worry much about all these percentages that I'm putting in front of you, but I also wanted to explain the indirect cost. I've basically explained all the items that you see there in yellow. Obviously I'll need to do other videos to explain to you the items that are in white, but your indirect cost is if you've got a head office where you've got staff there, your buyers, the guys who run around for you, the cleaners and everything, because we are in the business of creating employment and eradicating poverty. That's all. The World Bank, there's a vision to say that by 2030, at least 3% of the 8 billion people in the world, right? I didn't apply any projection of the population growth and blah, 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 but 3% of the 8 billion people would be under poverty, Obviously, the impact of the coronavirus has done severe damage to that, but we still hope by 2030 we'll be able to achieve that 3% poverty, percentage of people that survive or live on 36 rand per day. So your indirect costs, they're 20 to 25% of your total contract value. So most SMMEs, they would look at a contract value and say, we want all this money, when are we getting all this money, so this indirect costs, they basically like the company cost, which is 12 to 13% of the contract value, and then that's where you get your salaries, your wages, your transport, property, communication, property, your rent, your offices, blah blah blah, your loan, your interest, your entertainment, and all those other things. There are a lot of costs that companies experience, like your insurances, your water and electricity, blah blah blah, all those things. But I'll explain everything to you in my next video when I go through all the items in white. So if you never ever want to miss a video, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the red button. Bye.
Whoa.